Hi, everyone. This is Diane Davies from Kitty Lit Market. We have an exciting author interview for you today. Our guest is another exciting author, and her name is Alva Sachs, and she is a former elementary school teacher, which kind of seems to be the story that we're hearing from a lot of our authors. And on her website, I found this, and I love this quote. She says, "We all have stories to tell, so why not write them down on paper?" I love that. I think that's an excellent quote. Why not? Alva and her husband live in Southern California. Is that correct?
Yes.
She was born in Chicago and was educated in Chicago and then moved to California later. She has a wonderful mission, too, on her website, and it has all these great words. Let me share them with you. It says, foster literacy and promote love of reading. I love those. Those two are on my list too. Develop imagination, create stories for children, encourage socialization, stimulate thinking, provide positive reading experiences. I love it. Foster, develop, create, encourage, stimulate, provide. Wow, that's fantastic. And so let's get started with our questions. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Alva, and help us get to know you as a person today.
Okay, fine. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to work with Kitty Lit Market and you and Diane. I really appreciate everything that you've done, and Peter with all his support and everything, and the website and what you're doing for literacy in children.
Well, thank you. You're most welcome.
Well, it's sorely needed, not only today, but it has been in the past and will be in the future. So we need to keep heading in that direction, especially crawling out of this pandemic and seeing where kids are going to be and what anyone can do for them to help turn them around. As Diane said, I'm born and raised Chicago, in the Windy City. I missed my great, wonderful food from Chicago.
No.
And so there's some things we fly out here to California. We also lived in Overland Park, Kansas for 8.5 years as well. And my husband had gotten transferred several times, so I naturally went with him.
Of course.
I never really wanted to be an author or anything like that. In fact, I never wanted to be a teacher. Went to the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, and then I got my master's at Northern Illinois University. And what happened was all of the colleges were pretty filled up at University of Illinois when I went to apply, and they said, well, sometimes it's a good idea to apply to a smaller college where there are not as many people, So I went into a smaller college and started taking education classes my sophomore year because I transferred down as a sophomore. I went to a junior college when I first started. So it turned out I was taking education classes right off the bat. And by the time I was a junior, I was taking graduate classes in teaching, no less. But I guess serendipity has crept into my life many times. You go around that corner and you don't know what you're going to run into or what's going to happen to you. And I guess, in life you have to be open to things. And, when it hits you right in the face, you just say, okay, I'll be a teacher, And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, other than meeting my husband and having my children and my dogs in my life. So I love teaching. I taught mostly intermediate, 4th and 5th grade. And then I went back to substitute in Kansas when we moved there, and I did kindergarten through 5th. So it's been with me forever. I always spent a lot of time with my kids in class, writing and reading and creating and also doing drama and acting. I used to do plays with my kids every year and performed them in front of the whole school. And they didn't have a theater department, which I think is so important for kids to have another way to express themselves. So I started student councils, so kids get a way to learn about government and opportunities and fundraising and, support their school and find other levels for kids to work with each other rather than just the classroom, because, there's like ladders to climb and things to go vertically and horizontally. And the more we incorporate things into our life, hopefully it helps to make us a better rounded person. So, so that's kind of my background in being a mom of 3 kids now and a grandparent. It's been very exciting. And about 12 or 13 years ago, I got involved with Reading is Fundamental of Southern California, which their mission is to promote literacy and help to build home libraries. So I've been doing that for 12 to 13 years. I've been president for 6 years, and we service the Los Angeles and Orange County, and we serve about 65,000 kids who don't have books. Some may have never had their own books, and we work with school sites who join Reading is Fundamental of Southern California, and we distribute 3 books free throughout the year for the kids to have as their own. And they do like a whole big hoopla when the books come and have a great celebration. And we have costumes that some of the staff dress up in, like Clifford and Minnie and Pooh Bear and Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald comes to schools too. And so I've been doing that for a really long time. And this year with the pandemic, we had to rethink it because we couldn't go to the schools.
All right.
So our executive director, Carol Honalt, who is worth every ounce of pay that we give her, she works on getting grants, and we've also worked on, instead of the teachers coming in to select their books, we find out what grade they are, and we do a selection. They come pick up the books outside of our warehouse. They bring them to the school, and then the kids do drive-bys. They do drive-bys in their cars.
Good idea.
And get their books, and we have pictures of that happening on our site at rifsocal.com, and it's just .org, rifsocal.org. And so it's been a blessing to be able to get books to the kids despite the pandemic.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
and on down the road, Alva's going to come back and do a presentation with us on her program there with Reading is Fundamental. We're excited for that to happen too. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So tell us when your writing career actually started. I know you taught for 16 years, but you didn't write at that time. Is that correct?
No, I wrote with my kids, and I did do an amazing writing program that was brought to our district, which I guess is what triggered me to write.
Okay.
Many years ago, because I didn't start my company, threewishespublishing.com, until 2007, but I did a lot of writing in that program, and that's when I literally wrote Circus Fever, my first book.
Okay.
Because we had to write something. We wrote every day when we went to these meetings after school for in-service meetings, and I did a lot of writing with my kids in my classroom. But in 2007, I'm kind of like Peter Pan. I just don't want to grow up. And I thought, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? My kids were out of college, and I still did things, and participated in things. And I always loved writing when I taught. And so I went back to Circus Fever, and I reread it and did a bunch of changes in it and learned a lot, and submitted it to many rejections. And I just thought, I'm just going to start my own company and be an indie publisher, which is what I did. And and so I did a lot of changes to Circus Fever. I found an amazing illustrator who I was sponsoring at an art festival, and we've been together since 2007, Patricia Krebs, and she brings my books to life. And I wrapped up my Circus Fever book, and I sent it off to Barnes & Noble in New York, to the small press. They took it in a week. In 1 week, they accepted Circus Fever. So
wow,
here it is.
That's fantastic.
It was very exciting. I literally was walking like, I don't know. I compare it to lily pads. Lily pads, with the frog on one lily pad jumps another one. And it's like also being on the computer. You can't fall off the edge, and you just keep on going. And I did a lot of reading, and I did a lot of field trips to bookstores and I actually felt paper because I wanted to know what the papers felt like, and looked at font and looked at illustrations and off I went and started my own company. And so it's been since 2007 and 6 award-winning books.
That is fantastic. Good for you.
Having an illustrator that you can work with, and literally we're like a symphony. You can't tell us apart, It enhances what I write, and sometimes she'll tell me to, get rid of those 2 lines. You don't need them.
Oh, okay.
Be open and accepting, and it's been a wonderful marriage between the 2 of us.
Well, wonderful. So she only does your books then, or does she do others too?
She's an amazing talent. She does tons and tons of books. She records CDs. She does a lot with the Latino community in Los Angeles. She's in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She moved back there. That's where she's from. So when I met her, I was lucky she was here in California. We used to meet and work with the books. And now we send things, through the computer. We've done that for years. So
fantastic.
Yeah. So that's how I started. And
yeah. So tell me a little bit about your motivation for writing. Why do you continue to write?
Kids. Just kids.
Good answer.
If you can read, you can succeed. When you're young, you learn to read, and when you're older, you read to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a continuum, and I think children, as you well know, speaking to the choir here, you look at a kid, or you spend 5 or 10 minutes with a kid, and you start seeing the world through their eyes, or they do something and then you think, oh my gosh, how come I didn't see it that way? Or, oh, I love looking at things like the way you do. And that's because I spent my whole life with children, and I raised 3 kids who are very close in age, and they're 38 and almost 37 and almost 35. They're very close in age. And so they're our best teachers, Diane.
Yes, they are.
We can learn from each other, but if we don't see, what's in front of us, and don't learn from the innocence and how they look at things and how they experience things, then you might as well just wrap it up and call it quits. But and so a lot of my stories, actually all my stories, are from my experiences with raising my kids and being a teacher and that stuff. So
that's fantastic.
It's so exciting, and there's no end to it because it's something new is always happening. And now with my grandson, and I'm expecting my first granddaughter end of April. So, and he's 2.5, and you look at him and see what he does, and there it is. There it is. Continues. It just continues. There's no end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that idea. I guess, my life is very similar to yours in that respect too, in that, you watch those little ones, they melt your heart, and you want to do everything you can for them, including write them into stories and write stories about them and that sort of thing. That's wonderful.
Which is what I did. All my kids are my main characters in my stories.
Wonderful.
I ran out of kids when I wrote that's how Danny was born. So when you run out of kids, you invent them.
And there you go. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Why don't you tell us about your books?
Oh, okay. Well, Circus Fever is about Jessica, who loves the circus. And the circus is coming to her town, and she's so excited. She just can't wait to go. And it has to do with her adventures going to the circus. And when I autograph books, I try to write things that are applicable to the story. And it's called Dream Big. We always have to dream big. So that was that's Circus Fever, and about her adventures. And the amazing thing is, I wish I could show you every illustration. I mean, this is just the cover, Beautiful. And inside, I'll just do a little. This is her bedroom that my illustrator drew.
Oh, wow.
All about the circus.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Cool. She's incredible. Yep. The second book is On Your Mark, Get Set, Go. And it's about three boys, Justin, Mario, and Marcus. And Justin's Caucasian, Mario's Latino, and Marcus is African American. I believe it's important for kids to open a book and see if they see somebody that looks like them. May not be able to do it in every story, but if we can, we need to do that. And so they're like best friends, and they get together every Saturday after they clean their room and do their homework naturally. And they run down to Justin's house and they play video games, but something happened this one Saturday. It just didn't work out the way it was supposed to.
Oh,
so they were a really big surprise. The three boys and their three dads. There's no women, no girls, no mamas, no aunts, no grandmas, nobody. So the three boys and their dads, which we know we need to present situations that are realistic and which kids can identify with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My third book is I'm 5. And Justin's in On Your Mark, 5, Jessica's in Circus Fever, and my youngest Julie's in I'm 5. It's her birthday. She's turning 5. She's ready for school. Like, all 5-year-olds pretty much, but school's not ready for her. So she has her birthday party, and she has her family, and all her friends come, and they play games, and have ice cream and cake, and they do musical chairs, and they're cleaning up, and Julie looks up at her mom and says, I'm 5, I'm ready to go to school. Actually, this summer, she has a summer birthday, and she has to wait till school's ready for her.
That's right.
So it's all about learning patience and learning how to wait and being with your friends.
Tell us about the fun little stickers on there.
These are awards that her books have received, which has been very, very exciting. This was a 5-star book from Reader's Favorite. And I've had stickers. I've had Book of the Year from Creative Child magazine.
Wonderful.
Had winner from Story Monsters, LLC magazine. So that's really, really exciting to have.
Yes, it is. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. It's on my website. It has all that listed as well. Well, and this is my attempt in the middle of the night, waking up at midnight. I had the manuscript all written for Dear Master Dragon, like all the rest of my books. And I said, wouldn't this be fun to maybe do it like a comic graphic novel? Kids love comic books. So I literally got up and wrote myself a note. And Patricia and I think we met for this one. I'm not sure. She was in Buenos Aires at that time. But it's about Danny Dragon. He can't fly and he can't breathe fire.
Oh my, poor guy.
What do you do? All the other dragons can fly and breathe fire. And he didn't know what to do, so he wrote a letter to the Dear Master Dragon asking him for help. So they know you've got, a lot of other things to deal with. And it starts out with him sitting at his desk. And I wanted to make it like Dinosaur or Fred Flintstone type thing, I wanted it black and white so kids could color it. And it comes with a box of colored pencils for free.
Oh, fun.
And I had to learn how to, do the narrative at the top, like comic strips are. And it's all done. It says, Dear Master Dragon, I know you're very busy with lots of problems to solve for other dragons, but if you could please answer my letter, it'd mean a lot to me. I can't breathe fire or fly like all my other dragon friends. And how current is this with everything that kids go through, and to be able to feel good about themselves. And, I guess you can't draw the best picture. And this reminded me when I wrote it was when my son couldn't tie his shoes. I had his friends teach him how to tie his shoes.
There you go.
So, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. And it's been a really, really fun endeavor with, the panels and the bubbles and all that type of stuff, and create and present a different type of story, which is really, really fun.
I like it. I like that idea.
It's been great. My 5th book was Dancing Dreidels. I'm Jewish, and I've always wanted to do a Hanukkah story. And This is about 4 Dreidels who are best friends, and they're getting ready for the big Hanukkah celebration. It's they have Hebrew letters on their bodies. It's Sheila Shin and Gail Gimel and Harry Chai and Neil Nun, which all stand for a miracle happened that night. And, they're getting ready for the celebration, and they're practicing spinning, and Sheila kept falling down.
Oh dear.
Spin, and she'd sing the dreidel song, and she'd spin and fall down. And it's really, I'm not moralistic when I write or do stuff like that, but I like to have a takeaway, but that's not pressure or anything like that. But if you keep trying, you may not be the best, or you may not be the worst, or you might not win, but you can still have an experience. Mm-hmm. And if you get a positive experience, no matter how big or small it is, and when you read this, you find out how being friends and that type of stuff, and kind of helps to support you. And I also started putting Sadie in, my dog, too. So she's
fun.
And this was a big Hanukkah dinner with the menorah in the middle of the table, and
great
celebrating. So that's I wanted to do something like that. I'm really happy with it, and it won lots of awards too. And this is my recent launch. I'm sorry it's backwards, but the way it holds up with the camera. It's the Pirate Princess, and I like pirates. Pirates provide a lot of entertainment. Right, matey? We can even speak in pirate language. And we did that in the book and everything. And it's about Madison and her friends who are all going to go out to play. And they got up that day and it was raining. And they couldn't go out and play. So her mother said, well, why don't you just have all your friends come here and we'll play inside today and I'll make a special lunch. And so that's what happened. And this is also part of an experience I had. I used to have the laundry baskets on the floor in the hallway on the second floor, and the kids would dump out the laundry, and they would use the laundry baskets to play. And these laundry baskets were dumped out in the hallway, and Madison and all her friends, they were thinking about what to do, and they shared ideas, and lo and behold, a pirate developed. So it's really a fun story. It won Book of the Year, and it had 5 stars on Reader's Favorite and everything. And so, and Patricia, again, I can't give enough kudos to her, because she makes my stories come alive. She makes the characters come to life. She makes their adventures come to life. And it's been an incredible journey just to even have met her in part of my life. And so I'm working on another one, which I was
just going to ask that. What's next?
And it's called Sam and Sadie Super Sleuths.
Oh.
And it's about a little boy and his dog Sadie. This is my Sadie. And they're super sleuths. I can't tell you that too much more, but the character Sam is from a illustration that Patricia did for me years ago, and a little boy named Tony who was in I'm 5. And I just loved that character that she drew, because in I'm 5, I'm probably rambling on way too much for you.
No, you're just fine.
In I'm 5, Julie's friends came from all walks of life as well. They're Asian, they're African American, they're Caucasian, they're Latino, and these were all of Julie's friends at her birthday party. And she drew Tony, and I don't know if you can see him too well. Here's Tony here.
And so he's the character in the new story, right?
He's going to be Sam in the Super Sleuths, because he was a character that she drew. So we're just going to give him a name change and change his clothes.
That's okay. That's not a problem.
A fun time with a little boy and his family.
Yeah. So where can people go and get a hold of your wonderful books, my dear?
Well, they can go to threewishespublishing.com or alvasachs.com, my website. They're all on Amazon. Almost all of them, but Pirate Princess is on Barnes & Noble too. But they're all on my website. Barnes & Noble was in the middle of changing distributors. And so I've been working with them to do that. So they're pretty much, where books are sold, or you can, go online and see and Google the title or Google me, and they can always, order direct from me. And
okay,
that works.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful. So we have you do author visits, correct? To school?
I do. I love author visits.
I do too. They've been hard to do the last year and a half, though, haven't they? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've done a few virtual ones.
Well, good. Do you have any funny stories or any funny things that happened at any of those visits that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I tell you, I bring my books, I talk with the kids, I sit on the floor with them, or I sit on a chair with them. And I haven't had anything really funny. They were always just very, very involved and engrossed, and then I take engrossed with it, and I bring my books with me. Plus, I have these plush animals that are called budsies, and I have one for each.
Oh, sure.
I should have brought them with me. Sorry, I forgot. And I have the kids hold up a book. One holds a book, one holds a little plush toy. Then they switch, and then they take pictures, and they just have a lot of fun with it. So
that's wonderful.
Mostly just being there with them, in their element and that type of stuff. So I never really had anything to speak of that was funny or outrageous or interesting. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have stickers and pencils and bookmarks, and I have
all kinds of goodies.
Swag bag I bring for the kids.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
One last question, my dear. We've used up our time already. Can you believe it? How fast it goes?
No,
when you're having a good time, it just flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But if you were asked to give some direction to somebody that wanted to become an author, what might you tell them?
Well, it's interesting that you asked, because I've been consulting with several people over the years.
Cool.
And 3 people that I worked with have written their books and gotten them published or self-published them themselves on their own. And it's just basically just be truthful, be honest. Everyone has a story to tell. And it can be real, it can be made up, it can be a compilation of a lot of different things, but it can also be very cathartic for people who might be going through something in their lives, or a memory, or something that they believe in and that they want to share. And I think you have to realize you don't have to worry about anybody judging your feelings or your thoughts or your ideas, because they are yours. And you own them, and depending what you want to do with your story, takes a direction with that. Plus, I learned a lot. Like I said, I took many field trips to places, to bookstores and to other places. And I bought some books to read and learning online. And like I said before, the lily pad, you go online and you Google something and it takes you to another thing. The next thing you know, 4 hours have gone by.
Isn't that true?
And there's so much on indie publishing now, and a whole level of respect for indie publishing that there used to be. Look for organizations that support you and your ideas, like Society of Book Writers and Illustrators. I went to 3 conferences with them. I actually wrote I'm 5. I started writing it when I was at the conference. I still have my notebook that says I'm 5. And it's important to keep your mind open and learn from other people, because if you're really like this, your ideas can't flow. You have to be open. You may not agree with it or something, but it might trigger something, and it helps you to learn perspective, and we always learn from each other. And you can take what you want, or maybe you put it on the side. It might come back and crawl back up into your brain later, And I think that way with everything, just in life, whether it's writing or whether it's a hobby or whether it's your job, and you listen to the other people who you work with. I guess that's just my teacher thing. I always just say to my kids, who's got a question? And they all sit there and they look at each other. We really had 20 questions out there. And I always said, no question is silly or dumb or stupid, because I guarantee you, if you're thinking it, the person next to you is thinking it too. And so I always wanted to make an environment that was open and caring. And, and that's the way the world should be. We know it can't be that way. But if we lead by example, I think that's one of the best things that we can do. And sure, you're going to fall down. You're going to fall down. You got to have enough strength to get back up and say, okay, what did I learn from this? What's my takeaway? Or what can I share? And I think that's just the whole crux of humanity. What can we do to help and support each other, and go from there?
I think your comment too about mistakes, are wonderful ways to learn. They're, like you said, they're not something that should take the feet out from underneath you and stop you, but they're stepping stones to learning, as you said. So that's wonderful advice. Thank you so very much. Well, it's been delightful, my dear, visiting with you. I look forward to having you on Second Tuesday, talking about reading is fundamental. We might even have let's do another one where you talk about your business too, your publishing business. That'd be great. My publishing business? Pardon me?
My publishing business?
Yeah, your publishing business. Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. Well, I was just, okay, let's just do this.
Okay, that's perfect. That's the way to go. I love it.
The water's cold. Just jump right in.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thanks again, my dear. That's all we have for you today, folks. And thank you for joining us. And we'll be with you again soon.